while those parts are being cleaned, and by the way, I have an ultrasonic cleaner and clock cleaner that I use to clean the movement parts. You don't have to have all that, and you could use something like lacquer thinner, even Brasso, clean off all the gunk. Um, so if you're going to do a lot, you might want to invest in an ultrasonic cleaner and get clock cleaning solution. Anyway, I'll tell you that this when I'm working on one of these old clocks, I get the rotor and the coil out like this, and so what I want to do is find out the condition of the rotor. Is it turning? Is it making noise? Whatever. So I use what's called a suicide cord, and this is simply a cord they cut the ends off of, put some alligator clips on the end, and then plug it into an outlet. And that is going to draw current across the coil, and we'll find out what happens with the rotor. So when I do that, the rotor is turning. Okay, it's making a little bit of noise. Okay, so it definitely is dirty and needs to be cleaned up. One thing to point out, this rotor is not the original rotor. Somebody serviced this clock at some point, because the original rotor would have been the brass type that has soldering at the end of it like that. So somebody replaced this rotor at some point in history. This is a later type. Now what I'm going to do with this is I like to drill and add fluid. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill a hole. If I look at the where it says top, okay, what I like to do, that would be 12 o'clock, this would be 9 o'clock. I like to drill about 10 o'clock on a rotor, and about right there, right about there. And the reason why is if you look at the inside of one of these rotors, you'll notice there's this plate here. So I want to get the hole in this area here. I don't want to drill a hole onto that plate. So right about there. It's good. All right, so I'm going to drill that, and then I'm going to refill it with automatic transmission fluid. And what it calls for is 1.95 milliliters of fluid. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to test it again and see what happens. If it's silent and running, I'll make sure that it's keeping time right and clean it up. I'll take some lacquer thinner on a cotton ball and just wipe all this gunk off of there. As for the coil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the coil in glass tape that's produced by 3M. I've talked about this in other videos that I've done. 3M sells this glass tape. It's not cheap, but a roll lasts a long time, a lot of clocks. I'm going to wrap this coil with that glass tape, and then I'm going to coat that with this product like liquid tape. All right. What I like to do is I like to put whatever number is stamped on here, I like to put it back on there. Now this looks like a yellow 56. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but this looks like a yellow 56. So what I'm going to do after I coat it with the liquid tape, let it dry, I'm going to add with a yellow paint pen a 5.6 on there. It's for somebody who's working on it later, knows what they're dealing with. I don't know what the numbers mean or their relevance, so but I put it back on there since I'm covering it up. And then I'm also going to cover these original wires with shrink tube. So I have some shrink tube. I'm going to put it on there, heat it up. So I'm essentially replacing the insulation, updating it. So that's what I'm going to do with the rotor and the coil. Now, just talk about some cleaning stuff. Is it necessary? No. I do it anyway. I like to do it, so I do. This right here is the back of the clock. Okay, so in here we have a whole bunch of gunk that's built up over the years. And what I do is I take Brasso, which is excellent at breaking that stuff down, and I just put it on the back of this, take a cotton swab and wipe off as much as possible. It's not going to look perfect, doesn't need to look perfect. In fact, it doesn't need to be done at all. This is one of the reasons why I take this thing off, is because it's easier to clean it with this thing out of the way. this side and the nameplate, I also clean, but not with Brasso. This brown color is a finish, and if you put Brasso or anything caustic on it, it'll wipe it off. So to keep the original, I just take 3-in-1 oil and I put that on a cotton ball and just wipe it. And you probably in the video can't see any difference. If you do that, take a cotton ball, put some 3-in-1 oil, wipe these things, and you look at the cotton ball, you'll see a bunch of black and brown stuff. It's just an accumulation of dirt and dust over the years. So I like to do that. It's not necessary. With this right here, this shaft usually is just all gunked up. Again, I'll use Brasso on that. Careful not to get Brasso on the painted part. It'll take the paint right off. If this is gunky, what I'll do is take 3-in-1 oil and take a cotton ball and see if I can get it back into shape with that. And if not, I have in the past resorted to repainting the power indicator. So one thing I wanted to note is on a lot of these early clocks, the sweep hand has this finish on it. It's a kind of a bumpy golden color. I don't know how to really put it. That's an intentional finish. If I put Brasso on this, I'll wipe it off. Now, what's the big deal if I do? It's not a big deal. It still looks fine. But if I want to try to preserve the original, I shouldn't try to clean this with Brasso. Again, I can use some 3-in-1 oil to wipe it and get off any loose dirt or debris. I'm also going to use the 3-in-1 oil on the set knob. Just all the little parts. It takes off some of the dirt and dust that's accumulated on there without endangering paint or any finish that was applied back at the factory.